Christmas. From my memory, I'm trying to think of everybody, Tish and Orsi and Brenda and Grace and Johnny and Andy and many more. Forgive me, I don't remember all the names, but I remember who you are. Hope you're having a Merry Christmas. It's been a long time since I've uploaded anything. Haven't had much coverage, I guess. I've been on the road now since 2017, couch surfing and trying to get my medical stuff taken care of, and disability denied several times. I'm an attorney now. But Monday did a little podcast with a guy here in my hometown. She's got a little podcast called Find the Good News. We talked about a friend that I lost and that the community lost last year. Very well-known bass player here, and everywhere he went, very well known. I just wanted to share a little bit, because it's been a long time. And it's early Christmas morning, and I'm gonna go see the kids today. And so here goes. I've been in New Orleans. We've got a new doctor, and in that little network, I've got access to everything that I could possibly need. I got my blood work done, came out good. I have a physical scheduled, which wasn't possible because no one accepted Medicaid, and another evaluation that will go to the disability office. But in that time period, in the last year, we built 4 studios. We've been sort of growing and adding personnel. I have 2 producers, an engineer for these 4, and a mastering engineer between these 4 studios. And I had some interesting meetings in New Orleans with some game developers. And without going into a whole bunch of detail, there's a game that our studio was working with, game developer that we were working with. And there's some venture capitalists in New Orleans that, with this developer, we should be able to, well, I'm tasked with getting funding. And if you know my history and you've been watching the channel, you know that I've been able to raise a lot of money before for other less worthy causes. And this developer has a good workup for the pitch. It's a game that's been around for 10 years, so got a solid fan base and all that, so it should be a pretty easy pitch. And if that happens, and when that happens, we'll get the voiceover contract in our studio. But more interestingly to me, when I met one of the guys at the lab in New Orleans, I expected him to be a game guy, and it turns out that it was a guy that I worked with in publishing 10 years ago on a band that I was in for some publishing on a TV series and a movie. And that deal never went through because the band members, not all of them, signed the clearance. And again, long story short, after that meeting with that person, I had a moment of discord with myself, thinking that maybe I should just throw in the towel on all of it. Because in our conversation, in a way, I got a lot of validation, but at the same time, he wasn't in publishing anymore for the same reasons that I've been considering or trying to work out, like why go through the effort to help artists and stuff with their publishing, because artist development and artist management can be a nightmare. And that is exactly why he got out of publishing. And then I realized that the reason, well, not the reason, but I put forth a lot of effort in other projects and bands to create these opportunities, and I don't think it was really understood what all it entails to create those opportunities. And so whenever those opportunities were passed on, it was a real blow to me, because I put in a lot of work, and it was these are pretty lucrative deals, and it was everything that the artists said that they wanted, but when it came down to it, the window of opportunity came and went. So it was really distressing and upsetting. So I realized after a couple of days after that meeting that I never really given myself the opportunity for me to take advantage of those opportunities. So I went and made some appointments with some producers in New Orleans and checked out their labs, their studios. And it was a kind of a surreal thing last week. I went and checked out Jack Meal's studio, and it was surreal. It was just very nice studio. And also, when I showed him some of the tunes that I would like to do, a lot of times in the you get that. Well, when I was younger, less experience, didn't have the kind of back catalog that I have now. You wait on bated breath to see how the producer, the engineer is going to react to what it is you want to record. And usually it's kind of like, yeah, we could do it. And it's like, how much money you got? But that first meeting was, there was no mention of that. Now I know that it costs money to make a record, obviously, but there was a big difference in the reaction. In other words, the producer was like, wow, this is good. Like, we can do something with that. Which is a big difference in, 10, 20 years ago. And also, a lot of as a producer, especially some of the producers that I met, they do a lot of really, uh, you know, they record a lot of well-known artists. So like when people meet with them, and this isn't uncommon, it's just people kind of get gun shy and scared and nervous, and that nervousness comes across in different ways for different people. But to be honest, I've been in studios so damn long that I just walk in there and it's normal. It feels natural. It feels like that's where I should be. So what's funny is that when I met Jack, it's like a lot of other people that go in there. I'm sure this even happens to me in our studios. Artists come in and they almost like expect that you can do something more than just record their album. So he was asking, well, I don't know what it is I can do for you, but the reason I sought him out was to just produce a record. That's it. I don't need him to put my music in someone's hands or anything like that. I can work my publishing. I just need the product. So there's a little bit of relief that I could sense. It's like, oh, good, that is good because he can focus on just producing, And then I had a meeting with Rick Nelson at Maroney Studios. He's about my age, but he's been real, I'll say lucky, but also say he's incredibly talented, multi-instrumentalist. He started playing with the Afghan Wigs nearly a decade ago, and I played him some of my more alternative rock stuff in the gorgeous studio, and he was really into it. He was ready to make a record, and so that's exciting to me. Then last Friday, I was able to take a friend of mine to get the royal treatment at the Greta Van Fleet concert. My old roommate is the tour manager, so he was coming into town. It was from a show that they missed back in October, and I was supposed to go hang out with him. So he let me know he was in town, and my buddy came and bought me dinner, and we hung out and got to drive right back to the loading dock, and we got to watch Greta Van Fleet, which was cool. I was a little skeptical, but it was really nice to see a 3-piece band with a singer, 4-piece, guitar amp, bass amp, drums, and not much else, in a stadium of 10,000 people coming to see just some basic rock and roll. The young guys in their 20s, and after the show, a lot of times in the backstage area for these bigger acts, like it's real stuffy. A lot of gatekeepers and whatnot, but the whole crew is just really chill. And my buddy got to shoot a little video for his wife, for the bass player, was making jokes about her and stuff, and it was, that's kind of stuff that makes people feel special and all that. So I thought that was really nice. Had a couple beers with the band, and I got on the bus the next day, came to Lake Charles, and did Christmas with Travis and his kids. And they're headed to Korea today, this morning. They're probably at the airport now. And then Monday did the podcast with my cousin, a memorial for Brian Moore. You should check out. You could find it on YouTube. Brian Moore did a cover of a bass guitar cover of the Police, "Message in a Bottle," and it's fantastic. It's one of the only videos that's online with him. Brian Moore, Moore, "Message in a Bottle." He's a very, very loved individual and very influential in this area. So, moving into 2020, I'm hoping that the disability stuff will get resolved finally, and I can stop sleeping on couches and blow up beds, and gonna settle into New Orleans, make my records, and sort of establish some my own new family traditions. This Christmas is probably, just being honest, I don't know if I can do it again next year like this. I've been off of my medicine for about 6 months, but I had to take my anti-anxiety medicine while I was here because things with the family are still real dicey. It is what it is. I can't afford to risk, my sanity. So I take some medicine. When I get back to New Orleans, I won't need it, but while I'm here, I do. So I'm looking forward to it seems like this goes on and on and on, trying to get on my feet. But I knew that this was going to be an ordeal when all this started, and in my mind, the ends justified the means. I just didn't. It doesn't seem like it's taken that long. However, I feel like my body feels it. Being on the road again has been not as easy as it used to be when I was in my 20s. So I'm ready for some kind of stability again. And I hope to make this record with Rick. And that's about all I got, really. I'm sorry it's been so long, but it's just been, and I've made videos, but I'll watch them and I'm like, you know what, this is just too depressing. I don't want to make you guys depressed. I like my buddy in his podcast. It's like, heard anything good today? It says on the other side of this mug. I could give you news, I could tell you what's up, but probably just get depressed. So I I try not to upload a bunch of depressing stuff. You know, all the content that I put up before, a lot of it was just rehashing of old stuff. It wasn't stuff that was necessarily going on at the time. Some of it was, but you know, a majority of it initially was just telling a story, not saying, you know, not to make an analogy, not someone flailing in the water drowning, which is kind of what I've been doing for the last year. And so I hope all you guys have a very, very Merry Christmas. And don't take it for granted, you know. If you're having a good Christmas, enjoy it, man. Enjoy that stuff. Because you don't know if you don't know if you'll get it next year. Good enough is good. Perfect isn't necessary. If you got a good Christmas, that's fantastic. I found myself thinking that yesterday and today, like going through in my memory of a good Christmas. And that's what I have this year, is the memories and the hope to create better ones in the future. So cheers. I'm gonna go refill my coffee, and let me know how you guys are doing in the comments. I'm curious to know. And peace and love and merriment. Catch you guys later.